Hello YouTube, this is Mickey D back again with another episode of Stationeers, episode 22. So I went and did some mining runs, and the battery seemed to be charging fine with all the machines on, all the lights on, so we're doing good there. Gathered oxygen. About 2.5 inventories, I think, worth. Gathered some volatiles too. Gathered a load of coal. We're getting a little low on that, so. And I gathered a little bit of iron and about a load of copper. I already smelted a bit of it. So, yeah, we've got 44 in there now, we've got 82 in there now, and we've got another 45 in there now. And I went ahead and made up another tablet. Where do I want this steel at? 38 iron. Or where do I want this iron at? 35 iron. I'm probably going to want it in there for pipe parts. And, oh, yeah, we didn't want to drop that one. Oh. Thank you. Yeah, we need one for the e-reader. And I made a battery as well for it. And I made another large battery. So we'd have two again. And the reason I made the tablet for the e-reader is we've got to smelt some alloys. And I never keep those. I think we needed electrum. Because, let's see, well, we need Invar for that. And I think, so for the digital valve, if we go that route, pipe meter doesn't help us any. Pipe valve, what was that? Volume pump. The pressure regulator. I'm wondering if we can use a back. I wonder if we can use the pipe analyzer. Wish it gave you a little bit more information on. I'm trying to remember what the pipe analyzer does. I don't know if it just gives us information on let's see what's in the pipe, or I wonder if we can use that to pull data for what the pressure is. Yeah, that's the cable analyzer, which just gives us a digital readout. So that might work, because if the pipe analyzer is the same and it gives us a digital readout, is it even in here? Or did I completely... Which we have engines, which are kind of pointless right now because we can't make mobile stuff yet. So, oh look, we get gyroscopes. I didn't realize they had gyroscopes in there. Pipe recycled pressure regulator, no. Sleeper, solar panel, solid generator, sorter, stacker. Come on. We make a, oh, in the fabricator. Yeah, we should make a torpedo launcher. Oh, I'm so tempted just to make one of those, stick it on the base if possible, and just to shoot out torpedoes if we can shoot out torpedoes. Ooh, or turrets. I don't think that's really necessary right now. We don't have anything to shoot at. But it might be fun. Come on. Oh, pipe analyzer. Okay, so that might give us, so we need electrum. Yeah, we need electrum for that. We need copper. So, and I'm pretty sure electrum is just silver and gold. Silver and gold. I always get the song from Rudolph stuck in my head when I say silver and gold together. I thank my wife for that. She is a Rudolph/Bumble fanatic. So you can imagine how many bumbles I have in my house at Christmas. Back to the ingots. Back to the ingots. I really wish they'd change this a little bit. It'd be nice if we had categories in this that we could. Well, it would be nice if this was touchscreen and then we had categories that we could just pull up. Yeah, gold and silver. And I think for these. The last time I made it, I used refined. I don't know if you can do it with the ore or not. Which I have one. We'll go ahead and... yeah, I don't want to make a ton of electrum right now. And then what do we have for... let's say 95. And gold 88. Well, it doesn't really matter which one we pull out. We'll probably need less gold in here than in the electronics printer. I'm trying not to have you're not giving me the split stack option. Oh, that's right. You can't. Yeah, we gotta build a stack splitter. You can't split stacks and ingots, only ores. All right. It's about time we probably made one of those anyway. Not a. Yes. Let's see, power, is it power or data? Looks like data. I don't think it actually requires power. Where do we want to put it? Just here, maybe? I don't want to really put it over there. We're going to have a door over there eventually. Actually, if it doesn't require power, I can just put it wherever. We'll just stick it right. Oh, it is power. Oh, that's... oh, power and data. Okay, that's why it's a plus sign. Well, we'll just run it right off of there. And why is that, like, stuck in the floor? Did I put it down low? Batteries. You know what? I'm just going to put a big... I would like to swap out all the tools to a large battery. Just because they'll go dead that... Huh. I swear that looks like... Doesn't that look like it's floating? Yeah, I would say that's floating. So it either gets buried in the floor or it floats. Okay. Which it does line up there. I'd say that model needs a little bit of work. Is our, okay, the silver is done. So we've got the silver, we got the gold. We'll go ahead and... Oh, that's right, you're not going to combine. Yeah, I don't know why ingots have to be treated differently than basically everything else. Especially since realistically you think it would be easier to combine stacks of ingots than stacks of ore, since ingots would be a uniform shape and size. All right. And I want to go ahead and get those back together. You know, why do you gotta be... Yeah, no, don't give me like 20 million stacks of one. That would suck. Oh, let's turn you off. Oh, yeah. I want a stack of 20. One. Oh, that's right. That's a clear, not a... I always... yeah. Okay. 20. And we'll turn that off. And then we'll go throw that back in the one there. I guess if I was thinking about it, I could have just hit the power button. And done one stack. Okay, clear that. So there's 20 silver, 20, so that should make us 40. And we'll just throw those together, that way combine them. Okay, so actually, yeah, we're gonna want temperature 1.2 kk. Oh, that's invar. Did I say kkk? Yeah, kk. 700. Okay, so yeah, this one was really... Yeah, invar is having a little bit of trouble with, because the amount of temperature you need opposed to the ratio, and I think that's the one you got to kind of mess with the gas a little bit. Everything else you can kind of do pretty easy. Oh, and we're gonna want... Oh, all right, let's go take the stuff over there. And let's do this without, hopefully, blowing anything up. With the oxygen tablet, or the tablet, so I can monitor the pressure in here. And we've got 6.28, so we don't even need to. We can shut the valve off. We've got plenty in there. So we should insert, and we should just be able to activate. Oh, why do we have iron in there? Do not turn it. Oh. All right. Yeah, note to self. Check machine and make sure it's empty before. And, oh, yeah. It's one of those nights, isn't it? Um, yes, lesson learned. Do not put regolith in the recycler. It will just lose it. It gets destroyed. You can't, for some reason. You think it would just pass it through as not being recyclable but I bet it has something to do with the fact that the recycler basically outputs regolith, so you're basically putting the input in. So that's cool. We have, well, that's actually good then, because, all right, we're just going to leave those there, since we're going to have to do this a couple of times. Silver, gold, iron. Give me the iron. We should have some more stacks down here. Okay, it's empty. It's empty. Nice. Nope. And nope. All right, iron. Huh. Oh, that's right. Because yeah, when you run through the centrifuge, you actually do lose a little bit, I believe. So we're good now at 19 and 19. We get 2 equal amounts, so that's all we care about. I'm not going to go split up stacks again just to silver. Now if we activate the, oh, wait a minute. Let us turn on. Oh, hopefully that's on, because we're going to. Yeah, I bet it's probably not on. Hang on 1 second. Okay. And yes, so we have pressure there. Well, actually, if it's set at 200, yeah. 205 out in there, but let me guess, it's, yeah, we're full of. Oh, this is the annoying part. All right, we can turn that off because we're pressurized. We can't light it because we have too much. We have to vent out the chamber. We can't vent out the chamber without. Ooh, you know what we could do? All right, we got to depressurize the base, basically, because the digital valve is, which we need to move at some point, is sticking part way through the wall, so we can't actually access it to turn it on. I mean, I guess we could put a computer on there and do it that way real quick, but we do have a base input on this. So if we seal off this room, which it now is as soon as we close the door, this is our autosave. Okay, this is set inward. If we turn it on, it's going to drain all the pressure out very, very fast. As you see, it's pulling me to it. Yeah, we're at 0 actually over here. So basically we just need to stand over here and wait until this drops to 0. Or pretty close to it. And then we can knock a hole through this wall so that we don't basically lose all the pressure in the base. And not that one, we need that one. And we'll go ahead and just throw those over there. 7, 8, 6. Yep. Oh, and again, we still have an ongoing blizzard. So if the stream suddenly ends, it means I lost power. Or my internet connection. Okay. That looks like it's pretty much depressurized. We shall put, nope, not there. Okay, now we can actually turn that on. Depressurize that. Now we should be able to maybe we just didn't turn the pressure up high enough. Oh, we might have pulled actually, are we set to 0? So that should have vented it out. We set it to 1,000. Yeah, we're at 22 kPa. So now, that doesn't matter. That should be fine. We can pressurize it. We should have burnable gas in there. We should have burnable gas. Oh, there we go. Not temperature 500. We'll let that run. No, we need to bump up the pressure higher. $1,400. Oh, there we go. Electrum. All right. So now we can go ahead and shut that off.
Oh, that's great. It's turned into a nice wet, heavy snow.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I don't know where there's a snow shovel.
And unfortunately, if we hadn't depressurized the base, or this room, we could have gone and grabbed iron and just melted like a whole bunch of iron and copper and whatnot while it was still up at temperature, but that's fine. So we'll go ahead and drop that down to 0 now, let it vent out. That should vent the system. Yeah, so I would like to get this automated at some point so that, you know, we can think of find some good settings that work and then set the system to adjust it. That's off, that's closed. Okay, yeah, we can go ahead and seal this up now. Yep, and at some point we'll have to probably vent this out again. We need to move that valve. I think we're going to have to put a bend here and then have it go back and out so we can get it in line with the wall, because, yeah, it sticks through the wall right there. So, unfortunately, can't actually access it to turn it on or off or adjust the settings. I think we can adjust the settings, but I can't hit the, you would think that I would be able to hit the button, but no, it's hitting the decrease, increase. I can't get in line with it enough. Yeah, so anyway, we've got Electrum. That's what we wanted. We can set this not to vent now. We can let this re-pressurize if we wanted to before we open the door. And this would be a way to do the furnace as well. We could do something like this if we wanted to not have it contaminate the base. Okay, that should be about even with the base. Not that it really matters. You don't really, unless you're going from, well, even when there's a bit of a difference, it doesn't really, it's not like it's going to bash you against the wall and like injure you or kill you. So far, it seems, they might change that later on. Okay, so let's see what this gives us. And I'm guessing that this is like every single. Oh, wait a minute. This one goes around the outside. That's right. So I wonder if we can put it there. I forgot that. I do like that. That's nice that it does that. I don't really know how realistic that would be unless you were measuring like temperature though, because are you really going to be able to read like the pressure or flow or such if you I guess maybe we're pretending a probe goes through there or something. What did yep. Lights are on. Okay, so that gives me my mixture, that gives me my pressure, that gives me my temperature. So very nice. So now can I actually pull any useful data off of that? Pipe analyzer. I'm hoping so. I mean, it shows it on the display. Pressure is greater than 7950. Confirm. Which it is. It's telling me that section is. Then we want to do gas mixer. I don't really know why there's not a power setting on that. I'm guessing I'm going to say on is enter. I know this does turn it on and off. I messed with it a little bit. So we can hit play, and then we'll say state 1. So next, and give me an option to do a drop down with state 2 before, or the next state. So, and the next one is going to be condition pipe analyzer. Pressure is less than, I don't know how, yeah, we'll do that. Less than, we're going to have to watch it though, because I don't know how fast it responds. Then we will do, oh, Jesus, display is killing me. It's great that it's all for immersion and stuff, but we might gas mixer. Which gas? This is where we're going to start labeling stuff soon. There's a gas mixer there. There's a gas mixer. Okay, I'm assuming it's going to be the closer one. Though this one was added on inner value. And I'm assuming 1. If 0 is off, I'm assuming 1 is on. Okay. So, to test this... Stop it. New state. Gas mixer is on. And then we want to go back to state 1. And that's all it'll do. It'll just loop that. And it's not. So it's not going to turn that on. Let's see. Gas mixer. Does it actually show me which one is... Oh, that one. So it's the one right near the bottom then. Okay. So gas mixer. Play. Alright, so if we pull this... If we pull this out... And we drain this tank, which luckily we have a nice little canister dump system, purge system. I guess it'd be, yeah, it'd be a purge system. I would, you know what I should actually do is put another pipe analyzer here, so I can read. I mean, honestly, it doesn't really take that long. It's a convenience thing. Put in a pipe analyzer right here. We can tie in and read off on a display what the pressure is. Because once this is zeroed out, then this tank is empty. And then that way I don't have to sit there and, you know. Or granted, I could just be patient and wait like 30 seconds. Okay, so... If we put that in there, and if we, which I don't know if 1 is going to be enough to drain the system, or we completely screwed up and the furnace one is kicking on, which would be bad, because there's no way to monitor when it's full, so it's going to... Okay, we're at 7.8. So we're at 56 on that. So that should have definitely kicked in. And we're at 7.95. So we filled that up. We're good there. We're still at 7.95 in there. Did it just kick on so slightly that it, but it should have pre-filled. Okay, so as long as that's full, then that valve's going to stay closed. So first of all, let's grab the tank and we will first of all make sure that this... Okay, so this one's not on. So thankfully, it didn't kick that one on. So I think what it did is everything that was in the pressure pipe, it dumped out. We'll go charge our battery. That way we can force myself to be a little bit patient while I wait for that tank to empty. Yeah, so we seem to be hitting about orange at night, and then it's charging up the green. We might need to throw another solar panel in there because we're not reaching a full charge during the day, it looks like. which is ideally where I like to be. I like to be a full. Really, I still had 1 kp left in there. Ideally, I'd like to reach a full charge on any of the battery storage. No matter if we have 1, we have 2, whatever. Well, we need to size it so that I'd like to have at least, if the base is idling, at least 1 full station battery if it's idling. That way that gives me a whole battery of reserve, which is quite a bit of power if I'm running furnaces and whatnot, or machines. And then, so size it off of that. I want 1 full battery reserve. And so let's see, pipe analyzer pressure is less than 7950. Well, that should be less than 7950. No, it's at 14. Okay, yeah, so we have a bit to drain out of that pipe. And then ideally what should happen is if this drops below, now this might be pumping out so much that it's going to run through a couple of cycles. And because we're still at 795 there. So we're going to have to do this a couple of times. Which I do gotta look up the exact amount that these can fill. Because if they hold more, then that would be great. For some reason, I'm thinking it's around like 8 or 9K though. And I'm not sure exactly. I always meant to write it down on what each tank will take. Now, I mean this should work. So we're like at 11. So we've got a couple more tanks that we can drain. No, we'll put our floor grading up there. So if we build another pipe analyzer, we're going to want that. Actually, we'll throw that there for now. That should be empty. Thank you. We're at 6, so we're less than 6 there. So that's, yeah, so now it's pumping back up. It's pulling from the other side. Oh, that kicked on. That kicked on. And then, see, yep, we hit 795. It kicked off. So we will not overpressurize. Very nice. And then that should have, yeah, and then that looped back over. So it said you were under. It kicked it on, and then, so since we're filling this pipe, well, that's actually pretty close now. So look, we're at 7999, and then I think it actually jumped up to 8001 before it kicked off, or by the time it kicked off. So that will definitely work. That automates that. We don't have to worry about any exploding pipes. We can leave it running. Then we should be, yep, full on that. And we'll just have a computer sitting there, which is fine. That can run. They need little screensavers on them, though. They should put the little the old original Windows Starfield, Oh yeah, so I don't know if I mentioned it or not now. So, but if anybody knows, are they planning on having mod support for the game? I think that would be really cool. I hadn't seen anything listed for it, so I figured I would ask in case anybody knows. Alright, so we want to do the same thing over here. And I brought the pipe because, and maybe, actually we'll put it over here. That way it'll be out of the way when we're using it. And it kind of looks like the terminal, you know. You kind of have your terminal over here. So that way if it explodes and you get a giant fireball coming at you, you can't actually see it. Oh, we need a logic board. Yeah, let's pick the right machine. Motherboard, logic, thank you. And so a really simple way then to pressurize the base would be to limit that pipe to 60. No, that's not going to work. I was just thinking we could throw a pipe analyzer on there, tie it into the vent, and then have it shut off the vents. I still think that might be easier to do with a batch writer, though, because no, we can't do the batch writer unless we separate the systems. Yeah, that's not going to be fun. Because otherwise... so we're going to want a pipe analyzer, and is that the side? Yes, that's the side out. I almost, yeah, no, because we have the other pipe come through. I guess we could come down. All right, we'll stick it here. I think that'll work. We can pull this valve out now. We don't need that. And I want to leave this as close because it still fills up this pipe. So when we want to drop the system, I don't want to not drop the system, but when we want to, what word am I looking for? When we want to go like to a lower pressure or something, we don't want to have a whole bunch of pipes full, you know. Not that it's too bad because we can set it to the back pressure regulator to 0, let it dump it out, and it would just run back through the system since we're filtering it all. It's not like we're exhausting it out, so we're going to lose it. Speaking of that, I need to see what our temperature's at in our tanks because the regulators didn't really seem to be doing much. Oh, I need more cables. And can I go straight? Yeah. So we turn that on. And then I think we're going to want to grab, we might want to grab the labeler here soon. Just drop those. Actually, that valve we can take back. I think the pipes we're going to still want. I want to move that digital valve while we're messing with this. Oops. A couple of valves. Yeah, I did make a pressure gauge, but I made that off camera as well, too, when I was, before I went on my mining run, thinking that, you know, if we wanted a visual thing, but I kind of figured there's actually no reason to because we can yeah, we can there. Oh, geez, I keep losing my train of thought. I completely forgot what I was going to say. That was awesome. All right. Anyway, so we've got to get this hooked up. We've got to depressurize the room so that we can bust the hole through here, move the digital valve, and I think that's what we're going to say. We already decompressed that, so we're not going to really lose anything. Not that the pipes don't really, you know, when you open them up, it doesn't. It doesn't. You know, it just counts as not having an output, really. So you don't lose anything. Since it's, except for what's in the one section that you remove. All right, and a three-way corner. Beautiful. All right, if we turn this on, we want to do a new program, and we want to say, and since it's the last thing we added on the system, oh, did we actually, we did hook it up, didn't we? Yeah, it is hooked up. Oh. Okay, is their gas mixer all the way up? I don't know if it goes on the order it was added. I'm going to say it's that one. Is off. Okay. So if I turn that on, it's negative. Okay, so it is that one. We'll turn that off. We don't want to bump a ton of pressure in there. Is off. That's not what we actually wanted for our condition, though. We wanted pipe analyzer. But we do know that this is the gas mixer up near the top now, so that's good. So, gas mixer on 0, which is off. And we want pipe analyzer. Power is off, which the power is on. So if we turn the power off, power is off X. That should be true. Actually, they should both be true, because we've got two of them and the other one's running as well. Power is on. Power is off. Okay, where's the other one? Yes, I think that's the pipe analyzer. So it's not that one, because that's the one that's on in the other room. And yes, eventually we'll have to label these if we start getting a whole bunch of them. Pipe analyzer is on. What the hell? How is that? We only have two pipe analyzers. One is obviously off. The other one is obviously on. All right, let's just go pipe analyzer. Pressure is equal to, what if we turn this one on? Pipe analyzer 4387. So if we'll say pressure is less than 4,500, because we know the other one's at 7,999. Okay, pressure is less than. So yes, because we're at 4382. autosave. Okay, so that's the one then, right there. And we want to say if pressure is greater than or less than, what do we want for a value in there? Is it the pipes hold 50? We'll just say we don't need it insanely high. We'll say 10. Then gas mixer on 0. Gas mixer on, oh, is it a 1? 1, confirm, play. Yes, okay, so now we are pumping that up. We're going to pump that up to 10K, and then it's going to shut off. And I think we've got that set to 0, so we don't want to turn this on, because otherwise we'll just flood through the system, and which doesn't really matter. I mean, we could just let it pump through. It could just keep pumping and filtering through the system and keep this pressurized, so that if we just come over here, we drop the stuff in, hit the button, it'll run. That's actually not a bad idea. Because that would actually keep, it should basically pressurize. No, it depends on how fast it pumps in, how fast it pumps out. I imagine the back pressure and the front pressure, or the pressure regulator and the back pressure regulator work at almost the same speed. So I don't think we're gonna, like, see, we might be pumping in slightly faster, which wouldn't be bad because eventually we'll hit 700. And then we can activate it. Yeah, I don't think we're going to want to do that. I do want to, eventually what we'll do is we'll automate it. So, and maybe what we'll do is we'll move this back one, because we will have space. We can move this back one. We can put another pipe analyzer where this is, and then we can say, if this drops, kick on this pressure regulator, and then it'll pump over until it hits our target. To maintain that, and we can do a condition as if this furnace is active and this pressure is less than, whatever, 700 or something, then kick this on. And then if the furnace is off, it will just, once it drops, it'll shut it off, and then it'll vent out the system. Okay, anyway, we need a second yeah, really, just give me a next state first. Just automatically assume it's state 2 or state 3 or state 4. Okay, so if we're gonna sift pressure, I'm really tempted to turn that off because we never had a thing to turn it off. So I could have seen that blowing up very easily because I got distracted about other things. Oh, we're only at 3.34. That's not bad. I think we sucked up all the oxygen is what happened. We used all the oxygen, so there wasn't enough, because otherwise it would have kept pressurizing it. Yeah, we're at 3425. Okay. And we'll just throw that over there for now. So our second state is, and let's see which one was. Oh my god, it take forever to scroll. Pipe analyzer, right before filter and glass door. And why does that scroll bar work? All the other scroll bars work. So we want to do pipe analyzer right between filtration and glass door. Pressure is greater than, enter value, 10, 1, 2, 3. And we'll tweak that a little bit. I want to make sure that we have enough pressure in there that if we try to do like a long burn, once we can get the input and the output balanced and we're maintaining like a steady temperature, that there's going to be enough pressure to push through to that regulator. I have a feeling that the regulator probably can't keep up. I don't know. Because they seem to run so slow. So state 2 is if pressure regulator is greater than, why does it keep, oh, because it's less than 10, so it keeps bumping over there. And which gas mixer is that? I think we already passed it. Yes, it's the gas mixer next to the pipe analyzer. Okay. And there I am trying to hit that scroll bar again. So condition is gas mixer on is 0. And then next state is state. Come on, 1. Thank you. So play. And because we were, yeah, gas mixer on 1, gas mixer on 0. We'll turn it back off. Okay. And we could go ahead and, you know what, just because we don't have a lot of pressure, we're going to go ahead and just set that to 4,000 now because we're slightly over that. 4,000. How are both of those? State 2, 4,000, less than 4,000. No, greater than 4,000, it turns off. There we go. Less than, enter value, 4,000, confirm, it turns on. Play. Play, we'll leave it up there. Oh, okay. So we are greater than 4,000, so it is off. Very nice. So now, oh, it's on. What? 3425. Where did we lose pressure from? I thought we were at 4 something. Okay. Well, it'll just leave it on. It'll try to pump in until we get atmosphere, which is fine. Oh, yes. So we want to, let's see, grab that. Oh, and we have no pressure in there, 0.01. Okay. We have no pressure in the room. Very nice. Let's turn this off and throw it over here. Now, let's take this wall off yet again, hopefully for the last time. And, oh, we actually need that. So we're going to pull that pipe. Yeah, I know, you can't work if you're not connected. I'm glad you have to tell me that. All right. And Let me guess. I need a screwdriver to unbolt this from the pipes. That makes so much sense. Because obviously my plumbing is always screwed together. It would never be, you know. No, granted, well, no, it's bolted together. I don't think I've ever seen somebody use like wood screws or something to, I guess we could pretend that the wrench has a nut driver on it. Maybe it's just, you know, you need more torque. Or maybe we just have to use a torque wrench, so it's got the torque setting, so we don't, you know, strip it out the bolts. I don't know. Who knows? We don't want a junction. We don't want a, thank you, a corner. Yes. So, we're going to do this. If I was intelligent, I would have dropped the other one. Okay, so we want that. And then we want to return back. And I don't really want to put it there, though. I want one more pipe. It'll, the other piece will run into the wall, but that's fine, because that's not going to actually interfere with anything. One of these ways is the way. There we go. Okay. And I was going to say, watch will be, oh, really? Oh. Because I can't crouch or jump. Oh, that's all right. We have a way to get around this. So we can run that through now. Now we have an easy way to access this. So we can go ahead and set it to 0. We'll leave it off. I'll throw that over there. 5. Wrench. Because we already got one hole in the wall. Why can't we just make another one, right? And we're going to need... I am so glad that the soup battery lasts quite a while. I hope they don't nerf it, because... even once you go to the... yellow, you get quite a while before you have to worry. Okay, so we can turn that on if we want, but we don't want it on right now. We don't need the plumbing. We do need those. And of course we have the giant pit here. Well, now at least we can put more radiators on and see if they actually make a difference or not. So my thought too was I was thinking about, oh, don't tell me we're going to be like, we're literally going to be one piece of pipe short. Really? Really? Yes. Alright, so while we're here anyway, I mean, we're going to have to come back, but there's no reason we can't just go ahead and weld this. And weld this. Because now we're going to have to go through the airlock. Alright. So this is... oh, son of a... No, it did close the door. Okay. It's going to depressurize, so we're just going to stand there for a minute. Oh, so what's next on the list? That basically gives that keeps our furnace from blowing up now, keeps our volatiles from refill station from blowing up now, which is very nice. That is a really simple way to kind of regulate that. Well, actually, it does regulate it. Um, so a computer and a pipe analyzer really is the only thing additional to what the normal setup would be. Uh, Granted, you could probably do the same thing with a, you know, logic chips, but I think in that case, it is, probably easier to do it with, because you would need, what would you need? You would need a memory, you would need a reader to read the pipe analyzer. You would need a memory chip to set the, to know what it was looking for. So you would need a memory chip to say, 4500. And then you would need a batch writer. And then how would you have to do it through a calculation, or could you just do, I think you'd have to do memory. Yeah, you would have to do like, and you would need a math one because you would have to do like memory greater than the pressure, and then a writer to turn the thing off. And then you would need another set probably to turn it on. So basically the high and the low. So I think in that case, it's probably the best way to do it. It'd be to do the computer. Okay, and we wanted one piece of pipe. And we could go ahead and just open up this room now too. We don't really have a choice. We're going to have to open it because we can't. If I was intelligent, I would have changed my battery out, but that's okay. So throw this pipe in. Our furnace will be good. So I was, before I got distracted there a minute ago, I was thinking about making, instead of trying to have because the Raiders don't really seem to be working. I think they nerfed them too hard for the, I want to say convection. I think it's because is it convection when they're outside? I can't remember. Or in zero. Zero pressure. Basically vacuum. All right, so there we get that good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could throw some more onto here. I do need to go run and see what the pressure tanks are reading. Right now we're pumping in so little waste, exhaust, I guess is a better word for it, from the furnace, that it hasn't really seemed to, compared to what's in the tanks. The only thing I would think of would be different would be the pollution tank, because that's for the most part where that's basically all come from. I'm assuming we're probably getting some pollution from the furnace, which when we're depressurizing the base, we're filtering that out. Eventually we will be getting more of that, and I'm gonna say that's good. We're close enough. So again, this is going to sit here until we add more oxides into the system because it can't get up to the 4K. Honestly, I could just set it to 3K. That way we're not wasting power, and for all we know, 3K might work perfectly fine. Confirm, and then it'll shut it off. And And we want to change that to 3K as well. Confirm. So if it's less than 3K, there, it will kick on. If it's over 3K, it will shut off. We are over 3K slightly, so we're good. Yeah, so that will keep that from exploding, thankfully. Scrap that. Yeah, and we should, as long as it's not, as long as it's not on when we shut it off, we can actually just shut off the computers on these. But I'd rather not. Let's see. So handle tablet, and we have the other one as well. That's the tracker. We want that one. Where is our? We need to recolor the other one. Oh, let's see. Recipes. I had. What color was I using for that? Blue is network. White is O2. Red, green, yellow. We'll make it green. Why not? Oh, I guess that was the last of the green. Okay, whatever. That's fine. There we go. And then we've got the orange, or the yellow for the tracker. I'm going to leave that off for now because who knows what we're going to be running through there next. And let's charge this suit battery. 3 and good. What are we? We got plenty of tank. Yeah, we're pretty good on that. Alright, so what do we have? Just to stack them so it's not on the floor. Okay, so yeah, so all the lights are hooked up. All the current vents are hooked up. All the current, lights. We don't have to do anything with that for now. The furnace will no longer explode, or the pipe to the furnace will no longer explode. I notice it seems to alternate which battery it pulls from. It's like it charges one, and then once it gets a full charge on both batteries, like if it's pulling from this battery, wow. Okay, we're drawing more power now. I'm guessing it must be from the computers. Because we were only dropping down to like orange before, which was 2 bars. Now we're dropping down to 1 bar. So I probably need to go throw another solar panel up on there. Because I don't think we're filling all the way up to blue on both of them during the day. Honestly, we could just shut off some machines and stuff too, but, why not? So, oh, that's right. I want to see what the temperature is on that before we do anything. I want to make sure we're not going to get the temperature too high, and then we end up having stuff explode randomly when we least expect it. Really? Really? You're going to tell me because that's there, I can't read that tank? Oh, that's a pain in my butt. They need to change that. I mean, everything else you can kind of like read through, but it's not a sealed block, so yeah, it's not going to let me read those. All right, so we got to pull a sheet off, which means that it's going to look like the boxes are just floating there. Granted, we could put a separate monitor above those. We could do another curved piece and do temperature so that we could see the temperature. You know, where are we getting oxygen from? Oh, did we leave that depressurized vent on? Oh yeah, I did. Look, the base is down to 36. It's depressurizing the base, which is not necessarily a bad thing. We do have some pollutants in there, so we're not breathing it anyway. Um, that might actually be awesome. Oh, oh, oh. We'll just turn it off. We'll let the base stay a little low right now. Yeah, it looks like the sun's finally back out and it's charging up. Yep. And still, yeah, I could add some windows. All right, I'm not going to worry about that right now. I don't feel like pulling those panels off. I've got we're at a minute 17, or an hour 17, so we're going to call this stream good. But systems are finally really starting to come together. You know, we can refill our tank, we can refill our welder now. We don't have to worry about that. We can just pop it in there and pull it out as needed. We don't have to mess with the mixer on and off. You know, not that that's a horrible thing, but, you know, it works for the furnace as well, which is definitely a good thing. And I think next is we need to work on our air return. I don't think I'm going to go as excessive. I don't want to say excessive. I think I want to put one intake in each room. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to tie it into both the oxygen, the head of the filtration system where the oxygen is, and behind where the oxygen is. We'll just set, I might actually set a digital, do we have a digital valve or is it a digital pump? We'll set it to, anyway, the idea is we'll set it to a pump or a valve. And we can set it to, we can set it to basically, well, yes. That way we can do the purge and, or just filtration. So if we want to purge the base, then we'll basically open up the side that it will dump into the whole entire filtration system, because that way then the intakes will pull in all the air in the base, everything. And if we just want to filter the air, which would be our regular mode, then we can, like, you know, leave the valve closed and it will just pull in, the intakes will just run through all the other filters but oxygen. So then that way it's not going to grab the oxygen. And, right, if I'm believing that correctly. And that way we can leave the base pressurized, but we can clean out any pollutants from the air, from welding, furnaces, jetpack on and base, whatever, you know. Carbon dioxide from breathing, because we do output the carbon dioxide into the base air if we have our helmet open. Yeah, so I think that would work. I think that's going to be the next things we're going to work on. And I think we're okay on resources for now. We didn't really use much in this episode, except for maybe did we use? No, yeah, we still have the copper. Okay. Yeah, because we pretty much just made the electrum and then it was just wiring stuff up and whatnot. Okay, so we're up to 3. We still daylight. And we should actually just, I think once we get the whole system up and running to test it, when we depressurize the whole base, we will put some windows in somewhere, maybe a couple different rooms. And then once we have the heating, the filtration of the air going, I think then we'll add in heating and cooling to get that set. And then we need to get it all automated so that it will, if it detects pollutants in the air, which I think we can do. We can maybe do that with the I think we can set it up to detect that. Yeah, we should. So then if we do, then it'll kick in the filtration. Um, and if it's not, then it'll just run in the regular mode. And then we need to set it so it'll do heating and cooling as well. So we'll give it a little bit of a buffered temperature range, and we'll set it so that if it drops below that range, it'll kick in the heaters. If it gets above that range, it'll kick in the coolers. And I think that'll work pretty good. And I think further on past that, it'll be basically getting a battery room, kind of like downstairs, I guess. And then we still got to look into cooling the exhaust. So we still got a bit to do. But yeah, it's definitely, systems are starting to come together. All right. Well, this is Mickey D. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Comments, suggestions, more than welcome. I will see you guys in the next episode. Have a good night.